a few years down the road, we start to get normal, and then I get the flu, and I don't recover quite right. Basically, in my particular case, I have to take calcium. If you take calcium, you must take magnesium. Not one of my doctors told me that. The reason is calcium pulls magnesium from your body. So calcium also is very rough on the body. So it jacked with my kidneys. The nephrons of the kidneys, which is sort of like the little regulators inside your kidneys, kind of is like having little stones that just are, you know, scratching them and messing them up. So my body thinks I have enough magnesium and it just keeps expelling it. The cause was when this first started, because originally, you know, I have really bad stomach pain, go to the ER, you have gastritis. Then it would be, oh, you have gastroparesis. Oh, you have hypostatic, whatever it is, the thing where you get up and your blood pressure drops. While this was all going on, I lost 50 pounds. I couldn't eat more than 200 calories a day. I had no appetite. It didn't matter. And I was literally starving to death, but I could not eat. I mean, I physically could not eat. It had no muscle whatsoever. All my muscle had atrophied. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk from across, you know, from here to there. We found out through blood tests that my magnesium was low, and that when I would get an IV transfusion of magnesium, instantaneously, within hours, I would feel so much better. I would try magnesium supplements, like, you know, at CVS, Walgreens, you get them. Unfortunately, magnesium has a very bad side effect, and that's, it just goes through you. By the grace of God, my husband worked for a surgeon, cardiovascular surgeon, that knew a nephrologist, a UT doctor. And if there's one thing about UT doctors here in Texas, they love to figure things out. Dr. Maloney, shout out to you. He was truly amazing. He saw me on a day he wasn't seeing patients. And I walked in and I had very little hope. This had been going on for 8 months. At this point, I didn't care if they told me I had an incurable disease. I just wanted to know what I had was, what it was, and then we'd go from there. Just tell me I'm not crazy, because I actually had a physician in the hospital tell me that I was crazy. It was all in my head. To that doctor, I have to say to you guys, never give up. If you are fighting something and you don't know what it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to be thyroid cancer, it could be something else and you don't know. I went to doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor, and I had test after test after test, and each thing took forever. It would take a month to see the doctor. It would take weeks to get the test, and then it would just be oh, here's your symptom, gastroparesis. Okay, but why do I have gastroparesis? And that's the thing wrong with our medical community, is you have all these fragmented doctors, fragmented healthcare system. It's like, here's your gastroenterologist here, here's your nephrologist here, here's your endocrinologist here, here's your cardiologist here, and nobody works together to help a body. Okay, my body had all these symptoms. I had cardiac symptoms, I had kidney symptoms, I had gastro symptoms. I went and saw Dr. Maloney, and he spent 2 hours with me. We went over every single test I had done, every single doctor I had seen, and he promised me on that day that he would find out what was wrong with me. He said, I don't know if we'll be able to cure it or not, but I will figure it out. And he did. And I have a disease with a long, long name, but basically it just means that my body, because I have to take the calcium, and I still have to take it to this day, we have found a nice balance. And obviously I'm in, you know, good health. I'll never be 100%. I'll never be the person I was prior to having the cancer. Well, I shouldn't say I won't be, my body won't be, you know, because your body needs all these things. They need all these parts. And they took them from me. You know, I don't have them anymore. I don't have a thyroid. I don't have a parathyroid. I have damaged kidneys. And so there are things that are affected. And there are days where I feel really, really crappy. I don't show those days particularly, because I In fact, there's very few pictures of me in the hospital on my Facebook, and I didn't have Instagram back then, because I don't want that to be what is remembered. I want to be remembered for beating cancer and for beating the complications of cancer. Once Dr. Maloney figured out that it was a magnesium deficiency, we had to figure a way to keep magnesium in me, because up until that point, in a 6-month period, I had been to the ER about 23 times. I would have to go every 7 days and get an IV transfusion. I no longer have veins, and my antecubital veins are gone. And we were to the point, we used the side veins, we used the veins in my hand. Magnesium is very hard on your veins when you're getting it through an IV transfusion. So we were getting close to the point where I was gonna have to have a port put in my body so that we could just do it there. We didn't get to that point, by the grace of God. Thank you. Dr. Maloney was great, as well as I saw an internist that also is a holistic doctor as well, and she recommended that I try magnesium glycinate. We have glycerin in our body already, so the magnesium glycinate binds with the glycerin, and it is so much easier on the digestive tract, and so much more of it is absorbed. And it's not those hard pills, it's actually a really soft capsule. And even if you couldn't swallow the capsule, you can open the capsule up and pour it into a smoothie or your yogurt or whatever. So that was one very important thing. The other very important thing is, because the gastritis is still very, very bad, is apple cider vinegar. Here, guys, boy, for anyone out there with gastritis issues, in fact, I'm gonna do a video just on apple cider vinegar. But basically, apple cider vinegar is wonderful for your digestive tract. A little bit of apple cider vinegar in a bottled water. You know, start with maybe just a little capful or a teaspoon, and you drink it 20 minutes prior to you having a meal. And then what it basically does is it tells the body, you're drinking vinegar, so it says to the body, I have enough vinegar, don't produce any. So your body just doesn't produce any extra acid, and yet the acid that's in the vinegar helps digest the food that you're going to eat, versus the purple pill or any other medicine like that, where it's just stopping the production of acid. But your body needs acid to digest food. So, you know, look it up. Again, not a doctor, discuss it with your physician. Apple cider vinegar has been around for a long time. Physician, she was so awesome. When I told her about it and she saw how it helped me, she tells her other patients about it. And, you know, you buy a bottle for 97 cents. So, there's a little hummingbird outside my window. And I have no nectar in one, or nectar stuff in one. It's not really the time of year for them, but I think they're all messed up from the hurricanes. I feel so bad. After this video, I'm gonna go out and make some nectar for the regimen. Now consists of, I take magnesium glycinate to help with my magnesium deficiency. I take Rolaids because Rolaids has both calcium and magnesium, versus Tums that only has magnesium. I take those 5 times a day. And then I take obviously my Synthroid for my thyroid deficiency. I take calcitriol, which is a vitamin D, which helps absorb the calcium that I get. I also try and eat both calcium rich foods as well as magnesium rich foods. So where are we today? Well, we're alive 6 years later, and doing a lot better than I was 2 years ago, obviously. So I certainly always will give thanks to those people that supported me. I didn't have a huge support system when I was fighting cancer, or even when I was fighting to just live. So I think that's the #1 thing. Hopefully anyone out there fighting cancer or fighting a disease, that you have a really large support system, that you have a lot of family and friends around you that love and care for you. Because it really sucks when you're alone and you're doing it. It sucks a lot. Gets me down. I mean, I have my bad days, and I had my and that time period, not with the cancer, but with the not knowing what was happening, you know, that the magnesium deficiency, which we didn't know why. That was probably the roughest time I've ever had in my life. I was blessed that Dr. Maloney took an interest in healing me. I was blessed that I had a personal care physician that cared about me. I was blessed that I had a surgeon who unfortunately lost his life to cancer. But I had a surgeon that was meticulous and got every little bit of cancer out of me. Today, as far as I know, I am cancer-free. I will always have to take my medications, and I will always have good days, and I will always have bad days, and I will never be who I once was, and I will never be able to do every single thing that I used to do. One of the other issues is I suffer from severe anxiety. I take medication for that as well. My anxiety is extremely, can be extremely debilitating. I was and where I am now is like night and day. But there are limitations, and I want to be honest with that, because there's not a magic pill that just puts you back together. I'd like to be on this earth a little while longer, to see him grow up and become the man that he will. That's my job. Be a good mom to my son, and to be a good wife to my husband. My girlfriend Elizabeth, and I'll put her link down below, she just did a video yesterday on suicide prevention because she lost a family member to suicide. And I really understand, I know it's probably hard for her to understand how you can get to a place where you could give up. I do understand that, because in that time that I was going through, where there was no light at the end of the tunnel, that every doctor that I went to, they didn't have an answer. I was just getting more sick and more weak and dying. I'm gonna link her video because I would love for you all to watch it, because I think it is important. You know, when people are sick and they lash out, or they're cranky, or they're depressed, love them more, not less. Love them more, understand more. You know, they're going through something you can't understand unless you've been through it. Unless you've been in that person's body, you don't know what they're feeling. I hope this video has some information for those that might be diagnosed with thyroid disease or thyroid cancer. This is my story. It may or may not happen to you. I hope that if someone is going through an illness that they don't have an answer for, that you are there for them. For those of you that may be watching this video because you've been diagnosed with thyroid cancer, I wish you nothing but love, and that I hope everything goes well for you. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Again, I'm not an expert on thyroid cancer. I can only tell you what I went through, but I'm happy to, you know, try and give you any answers that you may need. Or if you just want to vent, go right ahead, because it sucks when someone tells you that you have cancer. It sucks, and it's okay to be pissed off, it's okay to be sad. You get to have all those emotions and any other emotions that you feel are like, because it sucks. There's something foreign invading your body and trying to kill you. It can get overwhelming, and it can get difficult to fight sometimes, but just do your best. And I wish you nothing but love. I will end this video with wishing you all well, and wishing you all health